Well, the weekend has begun, but today we're going to try to take it easy for today. We're going to be reviewing Sendai Girls' much recent show that happened today with Big Show in Niigata. It features, of course, Natsupoi in one-on-one action coming from Stardom. Sareee teams up with Sayuri along with, of course, Evolution Girl Chi-Chi to take on Ryo Mizunami, Lenny Cross, and of course the legend Aja Kong, and plenty other matches we're definitely going to be reviewing. But also AEW Collision, as you know, we're now 1 day away before All Out. Anything could happen before then. And of course, we got some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. So, let's get started with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jared here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is where we review every promotion event that we can find, not only here in the US, also down in Japan, Mexico, Canada, anywhere in the world. If you like this channel, please subscribe to us. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews no matter what, and other cool stuff we're definitely going to be doing here. If you like this episode, give us a like or give us a nice comment down on the bottom. So let's get started with our very first review, coming from Joshi Promotion, Sendai Girls. Now, Sendai Girls had their much recent event that happened, Big Show. It took place on the 2nd of September. So this one is in Niigata, which ironically is the hometown of the founder, Meiko Satomura. That's right, the final boss. This is her hometown. Now, our opening match features Yurika Oka, who is in fact a Sendai's homegrown, taking on Natsupoi. I thought this match was very interesting. Now, I have seen Yurika on a few occasions. However, she was a former Sendai Girls Junior World Champion, but she had relinquished the belt due to the fact of an eye injury. But she faces against someone who has far more bitter experience and a bit of the high speed standard that you probably wouldn't imagine. Now, Yurika does have a bit of the aggressiveness, but however, it did not do any well until she put the fairy gift onto her. 1, 2, 3, it's over, just like that. But a note right here, before anything else, Sareee was opening the ring ropes for her just to come in for Natsupoi. However, Natsupoi did the same thing for her and Sareee, which we'll get in a little bit. Now, our next match, we have a bit of a comedy match. We have Sakura Iroda taking on her longtime rival and someone who she normally gets involved with. We're talking about none other than Iger. Now, if you guys never seen Iger, she's like this ghoulish ghost type demon, whatever. You know, there's moments where you think there's a lot of comedy. In this case, the referee was involved too. Basically, the referee had to not lay down the law, like trying to get them like, hey, enough with the shenanigans, just wrestle for Christ's sakes. That's what he's been doing the entire time. So that's what it's been. However, in the end, it was of course a very unusual win. Iger spit out some sort of mist white powder out of her mouth onto Iroda's face, but however, Iroda pinned her out of nowhere and won while she got missed. So that was weird. But of course, at the post match, we saw that they wanted to take photo opportunities, but they were lying on the back. But of course, the referee had to tell them, "You guys got to be sitting back up." And of course, they told the referee to get involved in that. So yeah. So I thought it was a pretty good post match. Now our next match, we have 6 women tag team match. Team number one, we have all the way from Evolution Girls, Chi Chi. She teams up with Sayori Inoi, and of course, Sareee. Now, those who don't know this, Sareee has challenged Chi Chi before in the Evolution Girls event uh, back in June. But however, she did invite her on her latest show, Sareee. Now, I will be doing a special episode of pro wrestling shows you may not that are late to watch, so we'll get to that at some point. But right now, let's focus on this. They take on Lena Cross, a Aussie wrestler. I don't know much about her, but I do know her partners are Ryo Mizunami and Aja Kong. But one thing I did like is how Chi Chi, she is a prospect wrestler. She's new in the game, but however, she's shown a lot of promising. Even though her first four matches that she had in Evolution Girls as a singles competitor, she hasn't picked up a win. Recently in tag team matches, she hasn't picked up any wins at all. However, in her last Evolution show, number 5, she has picked up a draw against Kizuna Tanaka. I haven't seen it yet, but I will get to it at some point. But in the end, of course, it was Chi Chi who was able to hang on until Aja Kong was able to decimate her when she applied a T-bone suplex, putting her away. 1, 2, 3. It was done. So yeah. Now our next match, we have singles competition. We have Manami taking on, of course, in a non-title match, Millie McKenzie. Now, those who don't know Millie McKenzie, you may know her as Emilia McKenzie in NXT UK. But however, she was released from WWE, but now she's been wrestling everywhere. Uh, she in her she normally when she's in Japan, she normally works with Sendai Girls, since she is one of Meiko Satomura's students, and she is the current Sendai Girls World Champion. However, this match was a non-title. But I can tell you, Nanami, I know for a fact if she would have picked up a win against Millie McKenzie, she would have had an opportunity to issue a challenge for the title. But however, it was of course Millie McKenzie with a jackknife to put away to ensure it doesn't go that way. Now, our next match is tag team action. We have Asuka, or as we know her here in the US, Veni. She teams up with our favorite pirate princess, KAIRI. Their opponent is none other than Red Energy, consistent of Miyuki Takase and Rika Iwata. Now, this is a very interesting match for everybody. Now, the reasons behind this is what? Almost 8 years ago, KAIRI made an appearance in Sendai Girls, and her opponent that she had to face was none other than Rika Iwata. Now, Rika Iwata was willing to say that she felt weak when they first met, and now that 8 years have passed, she felt that she has grown up, that she has gone better and stronger. However, as much as you think that she would have found a way to beat KAIRI, KAIRI also sharpened her skills around that same time of that 8-year period time. But you know for a fact that Rika would stop at nothing to have an opportunity to pin Iwata. So that was Rika Iwata would have put away KAIRI, my bad. So, however, that wasn't the case. It was, of course, KAIRI with the insane elbow onto excuse me, on Miyuki Watase, and just Takase, and it just ended just like that. But you know for a fact that Iwata will love nothing more to get another opportunity with her. But however, this is only one of 3 shows that it's already been set for her in September. She has 2 more to go, which one is GLEAT, and the other one is, of course, All Japan. Our main event is championship action. We have the Sendai Girls tag team titles. We have, of course, former champions Reiwa Ultima Powers, consistent of Dash, Shizako, and Lady Destroy Hiroyo Matsumoto. They take on Team 200 kg, consistent of Yu and Shihira Hashimoto. Now these two have gone back and forth before in the past. However, there's a lot of strength coming for Hashimoto and Yuu. They've always demonstrated their strength no matter what. But however, in the end of this match, it was Hashimoto with a German suplex onto Dash to pick up the win to retain the Sendai Girls tag team titles. So we'll see how the next show will be. But right now, Team 200 kilogram retain the titles. So right now, I think that's pretty much it with Sendai Girls. Let's move on with AEW Collision. Okay, AEW Collision. Now, as you know, I reported earlier the, that Tony Khan and AEW have terminated the contract of CM Punk. Now, there's another story that I did not know about. Apparently, CM Punk kind of threatened the life of, put in danger the life of Tony Khan, so he kind of addressed it about that. Now, this was a difficult decision he had to do. He knew that he was terminating one of his valuable assets, but because CM Punk is out of control, he did state that the disciplinary committee and outside legal representation were able to make decisive, unanimous, make the decision for Tony Khan to do the right thing, knowing that he could put everyone's in danger. So it was a tough call. I did hear that many fans in Chicago are not too pleased with the whole thing, but it is what it is, and there's nothing we all can do to change his mind. I know there are people reporting that many of the WWE superstars are saying that they don't want Punk around. Now, I know some of you WWE fans will love nothing more to see him there, but uh, thing is, he's already been burning bridges along the way, so anything could happen. So we'll see what takes place. Now, we start out with an interview with Ricky Starks. Now, Ricky Starks, as you know, he's been on a pissing mode knowing about what happened, so he called out Ricky Steamboat to have a match with them, and a strap match. However, Ricky Steamboat outsmarted him, telling him that you're facing a dragon, but not him. He was referring to the American Dragon. What's his name? Oh yeah, Bryan Danielson, who just made his return. So that's gonna happen. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, ahead before of the All Out show, Jon Moxley had some few words to say about Orange Cassidy, saying that his reign will finally come to an end. That all this and that. So he had some things that he had to say. Even Orange Cassidy did stated all of this, that he has challenged the best wrestlers that defeated him, like um, what's his name, like Pac, Will Ospreay, and a few others. So now he sees that Jon Moxley is no different. So we'll see what happens till then. Now, our first match is for the AEW World's Trios titles. We have Daddy Magic Matt Menard, Cool Hands Angelo Parker, and Daniel Garcia, along with Jake Hager, formerly of the Jericho Appreciation Society. They take on the Acclaim, Max Caster, and what's his name? Oh yeah, and Anthony Bowens, taking on, and along with Daddy Ass, putting the trios titles on the line. But of course, if you guys saw what happened, we did saw the little dance that Daniel Garcia does all the time, but it did not work on him, so that was it. But however, it was of course the mic drop that finished off Daddy Magic by Max Caster, retaining the AEW World Trios titles. Now, Lex C actually put it out in an interview with members of the Dark Order, consisting of Silver Reynolds, about their upcoming match taking place in All Out. So, Silver reminded of the friendship that they did had, in the past, but also Reynolds reminded MJF that he was the one who helped train them. But later on, we did see a bit of a video package by Adam Cole, and MJF has some things to say about um, Ryan Reynolds, Alex Reynolds, and Silver. Most of those things he could not say exactly, which of course you don't want to get in trouble. But it is what it is, the way that is. Now our next match, We do have Aussie Open taking on Commander and Nick Wayne. Pretty good match, but however, in this match, it ended with Aussie Open applying the Coriolis on Nick Wayne to pick up the win. However, Tony Schiavone wanted to talk to Nick Wayne. He seems frustrated, but the only thing that kept him frustrating is the fact that he could not understand why Darby Allin, out of all people, forgave AR Fox. So Darby explained to him, "You remember all those years ago." He reminded him that he and, of course, his father had a falling out. So basically, Buddy Wayne and Darby Allin never made up for what happened. So he felt that he burned the bridges. But after he died, he felt that he will never have the opportunity to patch things up with him. So he's telling him, "Look, I didn't couldn't patch things up with your father. That will always haunt me." So Nick understands what he's saying. If he doesn't for, forgives AR Fox, then he will live to regret it. So he's like, try not to have history repeat itself. But Darby did say that he will love nothing more than to see Nick Wayne to be at his corner for his TNT title match. And then as soon as that happened, here comes Christian Cage. He decided to say some remarks about his mom, but he did say that Darby Allin is nothing more using Nick Wayne as a pity project, all this other stuff. But he did say to Nick Wayne to bring a towel because he's gonna make sure he beats him down completely. Now we have seen Darby Allin resilient many times, but we'll see how this turns out for him. Now Claudio, as you know, he seems like as you know, he doesn't respect Eddie Kingston due to his ways, but this time he feels like he's having a change of heart, but he's having a hard time trying to accept it. But at the same process, he was beating up Wheeler Yuta. Now, Eddie Kingston says that he saw what he saw with the beatdown, and then of course he said, "Hey, I know you didn't look out at me, so it's okay." But he did say, "Hey, Shibata, what do you think of Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli?" And then of course he put on a cell phone, "You suck." I thought that was a great. And someone mentioned on the comment section on Twitter that it was more like the how do I say forgot his name, but yeah. Now, as you know, recently what we saw in AEW All In, there is the possibility of dissension between the Outcast, despite the fact that Sareee is the new women's champion. But they're saying that they're trying to stir the pot. However, no, they're concerned over the fact, could this be a problem for them? Now, Ruby thinks that there is not, but however, anything's a possibility. But of course, they decided to say that that Ruby is laser focused to obtain the TBS title. She did stated that Chris Salon never beaten her, so she thinks that this time it will be her turn. Now, Tony Schiavone goes out into the ring to interview a very familiarized person who has played with the Chicago Bulls. We're talking about Dennis Rodman. And before he could say anything, the Dickwads were talking about Jarrett, his wife. Sanjay Dutt, Lethal, and Satnam Singh showed up. It appears that they wanted him to side, but he refused. And of course, the Acclaim showed up to give a helping hand. So I thought that was great. However, Daddy Ass came up with the solution. How about we put the AEW Trios titles on the line and All Out? So that's going to be interesting. Now, our six-woman trios match, we have the Outcast, Saraya, Ruby Soho, and Tony Storm taking on Chris Statlander, Britt Baker, and Hikaru Shida. Now, of course, the X factor is, can Tony Storm get it together? She have completely lost her mind ever since she lost her title. But however, the spray can did play a part of everything and allow for Ruby Soho to pick up the win on Britt Baker. But however, will Ruby Soho obtain the TBS title? Well, we'll find out when we get to All Out on tomorrow. Now our but of course, during an interview, we did see Chris Statlander, who feels that oh, you can't do anything by yourself. So that's pretty much it. And Ruby Soho and Sareee got in her face. So they're confident to believe that Ruby Soho will come out as a champion, but we'll see about that. Now, our next match is Powerhouse Hobbs versus GPA. Well, that match in 9 seconds, just like that. And of course, Miro shows up in the end to give him a beatdown. So that was what happened. Now, our main event is Jay White versus Dax Harwood of FTR. You know this is going to be interesting. I thought this was a very cool one. However, there was a bit of the um, technical aspect, but it was of course Jay White who was able to pick up the win with the Blade Runner, and then of course the remaining members were about to do a beatdown on Cash Wheeler, but luckily the Bucks showed up to give a helping hand. However, the Bucks extended their hands and FTR walked away. So basically, it's like we're even now, and since you refuse to shake our hands in Wembley Stadium. So we'll see what happens in All Out. So stand by for that. So right now we're practically ended it right here and move on with news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So this is what we have for everybody. Now, later on this month of September, Baka Gaijins and Friends will produce another show on the 20th of September. This one will feature Harashima from DDT. They haven't made an announcement who's going to participate or what matches will be set upon. So stand by for that. Now, as you know, the five-star Grand Prix continued. However, one factor has been announced that Ami Suri is now eliminated out of the five-star Grand Prix after her loss to Mayu Iwatani. So that means she's done. Now, AEW has filed a trademark name, and that name is House of Ass. Now, yes, if you guys remember, it was during the celebration of the Acclaim winning the Trios titles. They called this the House of Ass. So that's a very interesting to hear. Now, I did review Stardom. Now, if you guys know, I mentioned someone named Asuka who teamed up with KAIRI. Asuka went by another name here in the States because, as you know, here in the States, there is a wrestler in WWE named Asuka. Now, that Asuka in Japan was known as Kana. So, she continues the name as Asuka at this point. However, the Asuka from Japan has recently tweeted that the Sendai Girls show will be her last time that she'll use the name Asuka, and now she's officially saying that her name is now Veni. So it is very interesting to hear that coming from her. We'll see how things will roll out for her. Now, finally, promotion Spark, Joshi Puroresu of America has announced they're back with their next show taking place in Orlando, Florida, called Rising Heat on the East. This will be in Orlando, Florida, as I mentioned, on the 14th of October. However, the Pacific, the champion Ram Kaicho is back. I forgot what championship she won, but she will be taking appearance in this. I'm sure we will see more appearances. I'm waiting to see what they're going to do for the show in the West, which is the West Coast. Remember, they had 2 shows in 2 weeks' time, so we'll see how that rolls out. So I'm excited for their return. I think that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Well, there's a lot of things that are taking back. As you know, we had Payback, but as we speak, we have the latest Stardom show taking place. So is Pro Wrestling Noah, All Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW All Out. That is something I will be doing. That's my number one priority to watch. So you'll be getting that on the next episode. But anything beyond that, we'll see how that turns out. But for now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.